Blog Talk Radio.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuning in to another edition of True Conservative Radio. I'm your host, the man they call Ghost, and I thank you for tuning in with me here on this Saturday evening edition of True Conservative Radio. Now, yesterday, if you tuned in with us, you'll understand that we did talk about how the Clintons and basically turned Barack Hussein Obama into the ghetto candidate. We had great numbers for that show. As a matter of fact, we're having great numbers all around, folks, and I appreciate your patronage. I know there's a lot of conservative folks that listen to me faithfully, and I just wanted to thank you once again from the bottom of my heart just for listening in. And, of course, we have a lot of long-haired, liberal, bedwetting hippies that like to tune in as well. I get lots of hate mail from those people. And let me tell you something. Tomorrow we're going to have an early edition of the show. I'm not exactly sure what time we're going to have it. I tell you, it's going to be before the Super Bowl, that's for sure. You know, it's Super Bowl time. There's going to be a lot of people drinking, that sort of thing. I'm not going to be doing any drinking. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing the drinking tonight, this evening here. It's Saturday evening, and I just want to go ahead and appreciate the American lifestyle. I mean, that's what everybody should be doing. But like I was stating previous, we're going to probably have another episode of True Conservative Radio tomorrow at an earlier time because of the Super Bowl, and at the same time, we're also gearing up for another edition, a special Tuesday edition after Super Tuesday. We're definitely going to find out what's happening after the results. If y'all are listening in, I just went into my little fridge here, got me a beer. Saturday evening, folks, and I know that today on the agenda what we have the Republican Party. What I feel about it, the direction it's going, the reason I feel that the Republican Party has isolated the social conservative movement. We're going to get into all that. Believe me, we got 2 hours to fill about how these social liberal, long-haired pieces of bedwetting crap have infiltrated the Republican Party, and I'm sick of it right now. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be taking your calls. But right now, I hope everyone right now I just want to thank you once again for tuning in with me. Hopefully you're appreciating the American lifestyle. You know, I patronize a lot of online radio shows. Of course, I find more of the left of the political persuasion than anything else. You get these ultra-leftists, you know, these borderline Marxists out here. And it's amusing to me, how, you know, I listen to them and just this absolute lunacy coming out of their damn hole. I mean, just absolute lunacy out of their hole. And I just wanted to say, what's our world coming to? I mean, I thought that these people were the minority, folks. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tirade here. What we have on the agenda as I crack open this beer, it's American-made beer. I drink Miller High Life. The reason I drink Miller High Life, I'm from Texas, obviously. Good evening to all the folks in the chat room. I appreciate your patronage. I'm cracking open a Miller High Life right here, and the Mexican folks down here in Texas, you know, we're a cultural melting pot out here in Texas. The reason they drink these a lot is they call these hueras. Believe it or not, hueras meaning white woman, because the white foam mixed with the blonde coloration of the beer itself. So anyway, little insight on beer. Anyway, folks, I'm sitting here drinking a beer, appreciating the American lifestyle. I'm trying to get myself on a calm note because let me tell you something. I'm going to be screaming my god-darn head off. I'm going to have the blood vessel pumping out of my head. It's just going to be unbelievable because let me tell you something. I'm disgusted with this Republican Party. And I'll tell you, it's a great beer. You know, down here in Texas, and let me tell you, just on a side note, I know we're going to get into this Republican garbage here in a second, but as I consume my alcoholic beverage, which is my right, of course, I'm in the privacy of my own home, I'm sitting here drinking what I don't understand is these laws around alcohol and driving. Now, I understand that nobody should be operating any kind of heavy machinery or any kind of car, motor vehicle, anything of that nature if they're completely inebriated. I'll acknowledge that. We don't need drunk folks on the road. But, you know, I come from Texas. And let me tell you, I lived during the day when Texas was the only state in the United States that allowed you to have an open container and drink while you drive, believe it or not. And it was great. It was great. I'd go out, get myself a beer. I'd be on the way to the party when I was younger. You know, you have yourself a couple. Of course, you wouldn't be inebriated and be obnoxious about it. Go out and, you know, kill innocent people. I'm not suggesting that you go out and get hammered, you know, get sloppy drunk out there and, you know, just go out on the road. I'm just simply suggesting that these supposed laws around drinking and driving are just a little bit excessive. And I've never been busted for anything. I have no criminal record whatsoever. But I just think that it's unfortunate that you have a whole group of people that, you know, probably never going to commit a crime in their life, okay? And I'm not saying this is a majority or a minority of the people that get busted for DUIs, that sort of thing. Anybody who gets into an accident while they're intoxicated, throw the book at those bastards. You know what I'm talking about? I don't care what happens to them. If they kill innocent people, you know, throw them in a damn dungeon somewhere, and you know, have whatever happens to them in prison happen to them because they deserve it. But you know, these poor people, you know, they're just going out to a bar, mind you. You know that we do have bars in America. You know that people can actually go to a place where alcohol is consumed and just regularly dispensed for a price, okay? Now, this is what I don't understand about DUIs. I know I'm going off on a tirade here. We're going to get to the Republican stuff in a minute. But as I sit here and consume this alcoholic beverage, which somebody here in the chat room, and hello to everybody in the chat room here. I appreciate your patronage. You people rock. Thank you for chilling with me here on a Saturday night. I'm just looking at my beer, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I can't go and have about 2 or 3 beers at a bar without the threat of being arrested. I mean, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never committed a crime in my life. It's ridiculous. The reason I say this is because I'm an employer, and I have a lot of employees. And I have this problem with many employees. I wouldn't hire drunks, folks. I wouldn't hire people that get sloppy drunk and that sort of thing. These are just young fellas. They're out having a good time. They're, you know, I mean, that's the only thing there is to do, for Christ's sake. You have the feminist movement that has completely emasculated most of America. I mean, just look at the gender-biased justice system. I don't want to get into that. Everybody who's kept up with my show knows about my viewpoint on that, so I'm not going to get into it. All I'm suggesting is maybe when you lax up a little bit on this DUI crap. I mean, they got crap nowadays. You can't even rinse your damn mouth out with mouthwash without them considering you being under the influence. Can you believe that? Because mouthwash has got, 80% alcohol. If you take a breathalyzer and you rinse your mouth off with some kind of mouthwash, if you took a breathalyzer, you could be incriminated and go to jail. Anyway. It's unfortunate. I'm just didn't mean to get off on that tirade about it, but I just remember I was in Texas. Texas was the only state that allowed you to ride a motor vehicle and you can have yourself an open container just as long as you weren't inebriated out of your wazoo. You were able to just go ahead and do what you got to do like a law-abiding citizen, and I miss those days. So this goes out to Texas. We miss you, buddy. Anyway, folks, hopefully you got a libation, some sort of alcoholic beverage. If you're not an alcoholic, hopefully you got some coffee. You know, whatever your vice is, hopefully you have it. Have it there by you. Kick back with me. We're going to get a little buck wild up in here. Okay, this is True Conservative Radio, but you know what I found out from all these emails that I'm getting? And of course I'm getting the obvious hate mail from the left-wing, long-haired, bedwetting hippies out here. I mean, these people are just going to hate me. I get death threats on a consistent basis. I mean, I've been told I should be thrown in jail. The whole 9 yards. But now that I've kind of just broken, I guess I've just broken away from the Republican Party. The only reason I'm suggesting that I'm breaking away from the Republican Party because the Republican Party has broken away from me. I mean, I'm a social conservative, and they've isolated every social conservative out here. And that's my point this evening, folks, for this program. The Republican Party is taking a complete new direction, and it's obvious that the conservative movement has nothing to do with it. As we saw the social liberals get together this past Wednesday over there in the Ronald Reagan Library in California, we had the social liberal coronation happening over there in the Ronald Reagan Library, and they've obviously anointed the social liberal himself, the man that has done more to divide the Republican Party, John McCain. They've allowed this man to go ahead and become the, presidential nominee by default. It's sad. I mean, I literally wanted to throw up when I saw this. Now, I'm not for anybody in this campaign. As a matter of fact, I think the Republican Party, like I've stated previous, and this is what the show's dedicated to, the Republican Party has isolated social conservatives. They're making us look like a bunch of Nimrods out here. You want to know why I know that the social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party? Okay, first of all, John McCain taking the lead, and all the media has just anointed him all of a sudden as the great one. Okay, first of all. Second of all, they've isolated any true conservative from any mainstream media, any forum to fundraise, any forum or any type of platform to say their views via Duncan Hunter and Fred Thompson. You notice that these Republican or so-called Republican forums weren't open to these folks. It's ridiculous. Now, not only that, folks, not only that, the only social conservative that these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, the only social conservative that they put any kind of spotlight on is this ridiculous Mike Huckleberry, or Huckleby, or whatever his fruity-ass name is. This man is making social conservatives look like a bunch of religious zealots. That's what he's doing. And that's why you got these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party putting a spotlight on Mike Huckabee. They're trying to make social conservatives look like a bunch of morons. I mean, you got Mike Huckabee over here publicly stating that he wants to change the United States Constitution in something that looks like the damn Bible, for Christ's sake. What kind of religious zealousy is this? It's ridiculous. And this is why I know that the social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party, folks. They just hijacked it. I mean, and the supposed social conservative they put a spotlight on, Mike Huckleberry, whenever they put a spotlight on this Nimrod, who is he embracing out here? I mean, he's practically already admitted defeat, this ridiculous Nimrodic buffoonery. All right, he's already admitted defeat. Who is he endorsing? He's endorsing that open, unapologetic social liberal, John McCain. That's who he's endorsing. That goes to show you that the social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party, and that's why, folks, I have taken the Republican out of the show's name. I've taken it out of the show's name until the Republican Party goes back to its roots, what's got them to power. The conservative movement, folks. I have a big, wide contingent of conservative folks that listen to this show, and I thank you very much. Because we need to come together. We need to come back as a grassroots level. Because these social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party. We don't need any more of these social liberals that are disguising themselves in conservative clothing. We don't need any more of this crap. We don't need any more of this crap. This is what took over the Republican Party, folks. You know, what are they debating about at these debates? They're not debating about a damn thing. They're not debating about nothing. They're just too busy mudslinging at each other. They're not talking about how the American family is becoming extinct. They're not talking about the social ills of society. They're trying to blow over Roe v. Wade. They're not even acknowledging the problem with the border. You've got John McCain. Like I've stated previous, folks, this man has done more to divide the Republican Party than anyone else. And if the Republican Party is going to anoint this liberal, social liberal piece of garbage, then I don't want to have nothing to do with the Republican Party anymore. John McCain, this is a man who wants to basically give amnesty to everybody in here. Let's just give them amnesty, folks. 20 million illegals. Let's just go ahead and give them amnesty. How about that? It's ridiculous. On top of which, McCain-Feingold, that ridiculous bill that was supposed to get rid of campaign contribution, corruption, you know, whatever it was intended to do. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 definitions for the damn thing. Whatever it was intended to do, it was unconstitutional, this piece of crap bill. And it got passed, and it's done more to hurt the Republican Party than anyone else. Than anyone else. I mean, it has basically retarded the financial foundation of the Republican Party. And anybody who doesn't see that doesn't know their ass from their elbow. You know it and I know it. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm really scared for this country, folks. We're at some dire straits here. We're at some big-time dire straits. I mean, it looks like Hillary Rotten Clinton, on the left of the political persuasion, is obviously going to get the nomination. After that Thursday debate, and I said it on last night's show, I mean, it looked like Barack Obama basically got on his knees, bowed down to this broad as the great one, because he didn't go for that Bull Dyke's jugular like he should have, because the Clintons turned him into the ghetto candidate, and it's just absolutely disgusting to me that he can't grow the testicular fortitude to go after that Bull Dyke's jugular. It's ridiculous. And I'm just sad, folks, and everybody always writes into me, man. I get hundreds of emails every day. Why are you so angry, Ghost? Why are you so angry? I'll tell you why I'm angry. My party has left me, all right? And let me tell you something. It has been hijacked by a bunch of social liberals that don't care about what used to be the root of the Republican Party, social conservatism. They don't care about that anymore. You know what they're worried about? They're more worried about getting their stupid agenda across. And what is their agenda? Social liberalism, folks. Destroying the American family. I mean, nobody even wants to talk about that. You know, and every time I go into every Republican or supposed Republican show out here in the internet and attempt to facilitate a debate on why the American family is basically becoming extinct, everybody just starts to, I mean, these are people in the Republican Party, folks. They start resorting to the methods of agitation that I usually see from these left-wing Karl Marx worshiping communists on the left, folks. That's what I see on a consistent basis. It's ridiculous. And let me tell you why these Republicans are starting to do this. All right? It's because they have isolated the social conservative movement. And let me tell you, if this John McCain character, if this ridiculous social liberal piece of trash ends up being the nomination, I guarantee you the Republican Party will be in shambles. Okay, because I've got a lot of people in this room, all right? I got a lot of people in this room that are supposed Republicans. And if you want to get to the blogtalkradio.com/ghost, that's where you can get to the chat room, folks. I know I got hundreds of listeners. We're simulcasted all over the internet, and I'd like to thank you wherever you're listening to me. But I got a lot of Republicans in here that are taking offense to the fact that I'm a proud social conservative. They don't give a damn if the American family's going extinct. I mean, they don't care. They don't care if there's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million abortions happening today. They don't care. This is the last thing on their agenda. It's ridiculous. Absolutely, utterly sickening to me. And these are Republicans, folks, and let me tell you, I'm glad that I have a lot of people that are conservatives that listen to me. Let me tell you something. We need to get together as social conservatives. We need to go back to the grassroots level, to your local government, to your state government, to the Senate, to the Congress. This is what we're going to need to do to get back control of our American government. If not, let me tell you, if not, we're going to see, just like these social liberals that are all in my chat room trying to flap their fat fingers on the keyboard, spreading logical fallacies, you're gonna want what they want. You're gonna see what they want, which is oral copulation between two men happening across the street from an elementary school. That's what these social liberals want. All these so-called Republicans that are disguising themselves under the Republican moniker out here, they're social liberals. Social liberals, you know it. I know it. Everybody in here knows it. Anybody who's a social conservative and a true social conservative knows it too. So let me tell you something, folks. If John McCain, like I stated, if this piece of garbage, all right, if he ends up being the presidential nominee for the Republican Party, he is going to divide the Republican Party. He's already done it, folks. He's already done it already. And here, I get a lot of emails from Republicans. A lot of emails from Republicans that say, look, why don't you just go with the party ghost? All right, well, who would you rather have Hillary Rotten Clinton as the president? No, I would not. Absolutely not. And let me tell you something. Hillary Rotten Clinton ends up being the president, we might as well bow down to a version of Das Kapital or the Communist Manifesto, because that's exactly what this goddamn country's going to look like. So, I don't want Hillary Rotten Clinton to be president. But I sure as heck don't want some piece of trash that doesn't want to acknowledge the social conservative value system. You notice that most of these nimrods on the mainstream media, they're still trying to put in the social conservative demographic into their equation out there, but you have every social liberal that has hijacked the Republican Party trying to negate the social conservative movement. It's ridiculous. Absolutely sickening. And look at these people. All in my chat room, folks, spreading logical fallacies, just like the left. You notice that there's a big correlation with what's happening here with these so-called Republicans that are spreading logical fallacies, flapping their fat fingers on the keyboard, spreading lies and what nonsense. You want to know why there's a big correlation between that and the left? Because the darn Republican Party has been hijacked by a bunch of social liberals. Social liberals. It's ridiculous. And let me tell you, I have a lot of social conservatives that listen into this show, and like I said, I thank all of you for listening in. But we need to come together. We can't just stand on the sidelines anymore. I'm not going to go vote. First of all, this presidential nomination is an absolute joke. It's a joke. I'm not going to go vote. And I strongly urge anybody who has any kind of social conservative value not to vote either, especially if they're going to nominate this piece of garbage, McCain, who's not even going to acknowledge the problems at the border. As a matter of fact, he wants to go ahead and give amnesty to these 20 million illegals out here. I mean, these are the illegals that are devaluing the cost of labor. And then the American folks wonder why the economy's going down the tubes. We got 20 million people out here basically outbidding you when it comes to jobs because they'll basically work for $2 an hour or some garbage. They're devaluing the cost of labor. And then you've got these liberals out here twisting, they're putting this humanitarian twist on this immigration issue. They always say, oh, you know what? It's okay. They're just trying to get a better life. So what if they broke the law to get in here? They just want a better life. It's ridiculous. While they're trying to get a better life, they are ruining the American family's life. How about that? They're ruining the regular, everyday American's life. And you notice none of them pieces of trash in the Republican Party wants to acknowledge it. The only one that does acknowledge it is Romney. And the only reason Romney's acknowledging is because he's got Babe Buchanan, who's a strong supporter of securing our borders and getting these illegals the heck out of this country, is a major strategist in his campaign. And the only reason I'm a little iffy about Romney is because I don't know about this Mormon thing. Now, I know there may be some people in here that are Mormons. I know there's a lot of big Mormon contingent online and that sort of thing, and I'm sorry, okay? It's your right. You want to believe in whoever you want to believe. That's America. We have the freedom of religion out here. That's great. But I've got the freedom to make a judgment call on somebody's record, okay? First of all, I've taken a look at Mormonism. And it's a rather strange religion, folks. I mean, they have magic underpants, and I don't even want to make assumptions on the religion. Okay, I don't want to degrade the religion. There's some people that live by this stuff, and I'm sorry if I'm disrespecting you. I'm sorry if I am, but that's the only reason why I can't go for Romney. I mean, Romney looks great. He looks good on paper, kind of Reagan-esque, so to speak. He talks out both sides of his damn mouth. But he's great on paper, but you know what? He's a damn Mormon. He's taken both sides of the issue of Roe v. Wade, which I don't particularly care for. I do appreciate the fact that Romney does have a wife. You notice that you don't ever see Romney's wife. And I like that fact, because the wife needs to just shut her mouth and stop thinking that she's going to be the ruler of the world. She's just the president's wife. Unlike Hillary Rotten Clinton, that was running half the world already during the 90s. But I just don't like that Mormonism, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just don't understand it. I mean, look, everybody has a right to their religion, okay? And I'm glad that Romney has conservative values. I appreciate it. I'm glad he's acknowledged the border. But you got to tell me a little bit more about this Mormonism thing. I mean, does it influence you very much? I mean, do you put on the magic underpants or whatever it is, and you do a little dance and you make a decision? I don't know, you see. All I know is that this was an outcasted religion that was shunned by everybody. Everybody that was out here trying to free themselves of religious persecution. From the Quakers to the Puritans to all these people that settled out here. They were shunned by all of them. They followed some guy named Joe Smith, who was their Messiah, or Jesus figure, so to speak. And Joe Smith had some precarious activities that he liked to partake in that I particularly don't care for. So that's why I don't understand. Well, I mean, are you serious? You're trying to run for president, and you're using this as your religion, as your focal point of faith? I mean, it's a little strange. And that's the only reason why I can't go for Romney, folks. I probably would have been able to overlook the magic underpants religion, but this man has talked out both sides of his mouth when it comes to Roe v. Wade. And I can't overlook that. All right, I mean, abortion is the purest form of murder, period. That's all there is to it. You can't talk out both sides of your mouth when it comes to that crap. You're either going to accept the fact that there's murder or not. And you're going to have to live with that in your conscience if you're for abortion. You notice that these people that are for abortion, they don't ever want to see what's vacuumed out of the uterus of most of these whore bags that have these abortions. They don't ever want to see. They don't ever want to see the pictures of any of that crap that they're responsible for. By being pro-choice, You're responsible for that crap. You're responsible for those just ghoulish, unsightly scenes when it comes to these abortions. You're responsible for that. And you see these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, they don't give a damn. They really don't give a damn. And that's my point, folks. The Republican Party has been hijacked by a bunch of social liberals. It's making me sick. Nobody wants to talk about it. All they're worried about is who the hell's most electable on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats. They're looking like a bunch of Nimrods out here. They're both looking like pieces of garbage. You want to know why? Because they're one and the same. They're social liberals. They don't care about the American family. They don't care if there are 1 million, 2 billion, 10 million abortions happening every day. They don't care. They don't care about these things. It's ridiculous. I'm just sick of it all, folks. I mean, is this what we have as leadership out here? I mean, we only have one choice? I mean, is this what's going on here? It's ridiculous. I mean, it's making me sick to my stomach that the Republican Party has been subdued via social liberalism. Social liberalism. It's ridiculous. You know, and let me tell you something. I don't understand why there's no Republican bloggers in the blogosphere or anybody talking about this travesty that's happening here in America, because it's a tragedy. I mean, what we're witnessing here is the relinquished power handed over to the social liberals. That's why you don't have these issues anymore being, brought up in debates. I mean, do you understand that when people were asked during the Republican debates there, are you pro-life or are you pro-choice? I mean, they were basically kind of zigzagging through the darn question. I mean, that's what it is. Social conservatism has been isolated by the Republican Party, folks. All right? And that's what just eats my... I mean, you don't understand how mad this makes me. I want to throw something right now, folks. I want to break something. You want to know why? Because the Republican Party has left me, all right? They've thrown away social conservatives, and you notice that the only social conservative that they throw a spotlight on, Mike Huckabee, or Huckleberry Finn, whatever his fruity-ass name is, they put the spotlight on this Nimrod, and he's a theocratic zealot. He wants to turn the Constitution into something that looks like the Bible. And that's the stigma that the social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, that's the stigma that they want in your head on what a social conservative is. They're trying to discredit the social conservatives. They're trying to nullify us, subjugate us. This is what the Republican Party has done, folks. And anybody who doesn't see it has probably already been captivated by all the propaganda from the social liberal side. They don't even know it. They don't even know it. It's sad. It's just sad. You know, I mean, nobody's talking about how the American family is just becoming extinct. It's an endangered species. Nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about the prevalence of women having about 4 or 5 kids from 4 or 5 different fathers, and they're single. And we've got a tax system that's perpetuating this activity. They're actually giving money to these people to encourage them to have more kids out of wedlock. It's disgusting. It's part of this liberal communist scheme of things. Nobody wants to talk about it. That's what it is. Nobody. All they want to do is they just want to sit back and pretend like it's not even happening. Now I better calm down, because let me tell you something. I'm just screaming mad. I want to break something, folks. I'm serious. Let me take a drink of some of this alcoholic beverage here. It's unfortunate, folks. It really is unfortunate. These social liberals have hijacked my party. Let me tell you, I don't care where you're listening in from. I thank you for your patronage. We really appreciate you listening in with us. You can give us a call right now. We're live, 646-652-4869. I'm just going off about the Republican Party and how they've been hijacked by social liberals, and how now that I have highlighted that as a focal point of my show, I'm getting a lot of hate mail, not only from left-wing, long-haired, bedwetting, tree-hugging hippies out here. I'm getting hate mail from supposed conservative, or not conservatives, from Republicans. Because anybody who tries to call themselves a conservative, and they're going to sit here and back any one of these candidates that are out here in the Republican race, they're not a conservative. That's a wolf in sheep's clothing if I've ever seen one. You know it, I know it, and everybody in here knows it. I mean, just look at how the Republican Party shut out all the true conservatives, folks. They didn't even give them a platform on what to say, what their platforms were. They didn't give them the opportunity to fundraise properly. They didn't give them any mainstream media exposure. I'm talking about Fred Thompson. I'm talking about Duncan Hunter. These are true conservatives out here that were shut out by these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party. They did it. You know it, and I know it. Anybody who's a true conservative knows it too. And look at who they highlight over and over again. Look at who they highlight as the supposed token social conservative. Who do these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, who do they show the spotlight on? Mike Huckleberry, this social theocratic nutcase who wants to turn the Constitution into something that looks like the Bible. That's ridiculous. I mean, of course I'm upset. You know, there's people in my chat room right now. Oh, he's a little upset. Of course I'm upset. My party's left me, and anybody who's a real social conservative out there should be just as upset as I am. Anybody who's a conservative, like I suggested, I'm not going to vote for any of these people. Any of them. And I suggest every social conservative do the same. We don't need this crap. We don't need this social conservative crap. This social liberal crap. These wolves in sheep's clothing, these people that are calling themselves conservatives, and they're going to call themselves conservative, folks. And they do it all the time around here. Oh, I'm a conservative Republican. And oh, you know what? It's okay. Abortion's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, look at me. I'm a conservative Republican. Oh, women are having about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers. Oh, it's okay. Let's go ahead and give them some tax refunds for it. How about that? This is what life's turned into. This is what life has turned into, folks. We have no social moral ethos anymore. You've got women out here, and men too, having 5 or 6 divorces and thinking it's okay. They're thinking it's okay. I remember a day you were shunned if you had 1 divorce. Now you've got people that are out here, changing divorces like they're changing dirty, shitty underwear. It's ridiculous, and nobody wants to acknowledge it. Nobody even wants to talk about it. They'd rather talk about something else. It's ridiculous. Absolutely sickening to me that these social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party. These social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party, folks. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at what's going on around you, okay? Look at John McCain, this supposed savior for the Republican Party, this most electable candidate, quote, unquote. This guy is more liberal than anybody that has ever been in the Republican Party. Look at the bills he signs. Look at these stupid bills. McCain, Feingold. Feingold being one of the most liberal Democrats on the other side of the aisle. McCain, Lieberman. Lieberman was once the vice presidential candidate for the Democratic Party in 2000, you nimrods. Wake up! McCain Kennedy, McCain-Kennedy, when I saw this, I almost puked up. McCain-Kennedy? Are you kidding me? I don't even need to tell you about Kennedy, and this is supposed to be the Republican candidate here. This liberal piece of trash. Because of his electability? Are you kidding me? This guy's talking about making the Bush tax cuts permanent when he voted against the damn tax cuts. I mean, are you kidding me with this guy? I mean, is the Republicans going mad? I'm getting emails here. I get emails on a consistent basis from a lot of Republicans telling me, look, Ghost, don't be negative towards the party. Don't be negative towards the party. Don't tell conservatives not to vote. Don't just go with the party. That's what they keep telling me. Just go with the party. Stay loyal to the party. Stay loyal to the party? A party that embraces social liberalism? Who doesn't want to even acknowledge the social conservatives that are running for president? I mean, this is exactly what you want me to eat? You're telling me to eat this steaming hunk of horse shit. That's what you're telling me. To eat it, like it, take it, and that's all there is to it. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. This is America. Remember that? We are still in America. We have the freedom of thought out here. I mean, if I don't like what the Republican Party's doing, which I don't, I'm going to say something about it and try to provide some sort of civil discourse about it. Not sit here and try to deny it like some kind of sheep, some kind of ridiculous Nimrodic animal that has to be led around by the damn nose. Some lab rat run into a food pellet. That's not me, folks, and that's not conservatives out there. Conservatives have their own mind. They understand. They understand what it takes. These are people that believe in the American family, folks. That's what conservatives are. They believe in American family. They want to promote the American family. The American family is the backbone of America. It's what keeps people going, folks. Working, breaking their backs 10, 15 hours a day just to put food on the table, roof over their head, clothes on their back. These are conservatives, folks. People that want to put emphasis on family values and not these social ills that have become the social norm. That's conservatism. But no, none of these Republicans even want to talk about that anymore. You notice that? They don't even want to talk about it. And anybody that tries to talk about it, they're using the same methods of agitation that the left uses. It's ridiculous. Absolutely unbelievable. I've been sitting here talking, and this beer is damn hot, for Christ's sake. It's okay. It's only my first beer. I'm just kicking back, chilling. I know I'm going off. I'm looking at the chat room here. Everybody thinks I'm off my rocker. I'm not. I'm just upset at the fact that the Republican Party has left me and has left all the true conservatives, put it that way. That's all there is to it. All right? I love the American family, folks. The American family is the only thing keeping this country together. You look at all the other westernized countries that are out here that have been induced by liberalism, feminism, and other such social ills. Look at Australia. Australia's 75% divorce rate. Yeah, look it up. Look at Germany out here. Same nonsense. 70% divorce rate. The only thing keeping divorce at an even pace, 50-50, is the conservative movement. And like I stated, and there's a lot of people that listen in that are conservatives, and like I stated, I thank you very much for listening to the show. You people are great people. You send me a lot of good emails, a lot of heartfelt emails, and I appreciate it. I know that, some of you conservative folks are a little intimidated to come into this chat room here, and I don't blame you, because, not only do you have a bunch of left-wing, long-haired, liberal, hippie nut jobs in here, you also have these social liberal Republicans that are out here using the same methods of agitation as those on the left of the political persuasion. And I don't blame you, conservative folks, but I thank you for listening in. But we have to come together, okay? Because we're going into some precarious times. I don't know what the future holds for all of us. I don't know if we're going to have more communist-style entitlement programs social programs. I don't know what's going to happen. This is a very precarious situation. I think the American people need to wake up and understand the seriousness of this particular election. I think they need to understand that if we just fall back and accept social liberalism, that the American family is just going to be decimated. It's gone. It's over. I mean, women are going to be shitting out about 5 or 6, 10, 12 kids, whatever it takes, just because they can. They're going to use it under the disguise of women liberation. You're going to have males out here wandering around half fruity. You know, I mean, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about what's going to happen. I don't even want to think about it. It's a sick world, man. It's a sick world out here. And it's gone to pot right before my very eyes. That's why I'm so angry out here. That's why I scream on a consistent basis. Let me tell you something. Whenever you hear my show, any of you people, I don't care if you like me or hate me, anytime you hear my show, you hear passion. You actually hear somebody who means what he says and says what he means. I'm not out here talking out my derriere like most of these jagoffs out here. I mean what I say. I say it out of my heart, damn it. Because I mean what I say, folks. I mean what I say. I'm not out here trying to disguise myself under some kind of other label. I mean what I say. And you know what? World of God Radio, who's here in the chat room, he suggested maybe we should start another party. I've suggested that a long time ago. And let me tell you why, okay? Republican Party's gone. They don't care about I don't know what their agenda is. Obviously, it's been hijacked by a bunch of social liberals, and I spit on social liberals. And let me tell you, if you're one of these Republicans that are going to oblige yourself with John McCain and just going to abide by what the party tells you, why don't you look in the mirror today, look in that mirror, and spit in it. Spit right in your face, because that's me to you. I think we do need to start our own party out here. Some kind of a conservative party. One with conservative principles, conservative values. One who still believes in the American family. One who still believes that abortion is murder, the purest form of murder. I mean, this is what we need, folks. We need social conservatives out here. Proven social conservatives. Not a bunch of Nimrods. Not a bunch of people that are saying one thing, doing something else. Hypocrites. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. And let me tell you, all you folks out there that are social conservatives, we need to come together, folks. Don't be fooled by the party. The party's gone. All right, if you think that the conservative movement is the root of the Republican Party, you're sadly mistaken, my friend. We're outcasted. We're isolated. We've been suppressed. At this point, the Republicans figure, hey, if you social conservatives want to vote with us, fine. If not, F you. That's what the Republicans are saying to us social conservatives. And I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept the fact the American family's going down the tubes. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not going to accept the fact that abortion is happening out here on a consistent basis. One woman can go out to the club, get sloppy drunk, get impregnated by something that looks good in a leather jacket, and a couple of days or a week later can go and have it aborted out of her. I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to accept that. I'm not accepting that, folks. And let me tell you something. You shouldn't either. You shouldn't accept it either. Don't let any of these parties fool you anymore. If you're a social conservative and you know it, then don't oblige yourself by what any of these parties are telling you anymore, because they don't oblige themselves to any kind of conservatism. And what is conservatism? Everybody always says, well, what is conservatism? It's very simple. I mean, the bottom line is if you believe that the American family is one of the most sacred traditions, relations of human contact, then you're a social conservative. That's all there is to it. If you believe in the saving the American family, well, then you're a social conservative. If you believe that people that have about 5 or 6, 7, 8 different divorces is wrong, if you believe it's a right activity, you're not, but if you believe it's wrong, then you're a social conservative. If you believe that women who shit out about 5 or 6, 7 different kids from 5 or 6, 7 different fathers, if you believe that that activity is wrong, then by God, you are a social conservative, my friend. You are. And you see, the thing about it, we're not like the Republican Party. The conservative movement's not like the Republican Party out here wanting to get money from you. Hey, give me some money. It's just a value system, folks. That's all you got to do. Abide by the value system. It's that simple. Just believe in the American family. That's all there is to it. I mean, that's what conservatism is, folks. It's people that believe in the American family. But, you know, you got these social liberals out here that have hijacked the Republican Party, that dominate the Democratic Party, that think it's okay for women to shit out about 5 or 6, 7, 12 kids from 5 or 6, 7, 12 different damn fathers. I mean, you know, these social liberals want oral copulation to happen between 2 men across the street from a damn elementary school. This is sick, folks. Absolutely sick. Let me tell you something. The conservative movement, we need to come together. Maybe we do need to start our own party, folks. Maybe we need to do it. True conservatives, proven conservatives, family people, people that want to perpetuate the conservative values to generation after generation. It's the only way we're going to save ourselves. You've got the social ills of society becoming the social norms. And what are the social ills? Prevalence of divorce. It's becoming a social norm. I mean, half the people that get married nowadays don't think they're going to be married about 3 or 4 or 5 years later. And this is a mindset that the social liberals have created. That's a social ill. Another social ill. Women equating women liberation for, you know, having about 7 or 8 kids from 7 or 8 different fathers. This is a mentality that has infected minds all across not only this nation, but every westernized nation across the international community. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. It's ridiculous. And let me tell you something, folks. If you're a true conservative, don't vote for any of these people. On the contrary, do what you can to make sure John McCain doesn't get the nomination. I mean, John McCain's already done his damage, folks. He's already split the Republican Party. He's already done it. And for all you Republicans that don't see it, you wait until he gets the nomination. Then you're going to really see the crap hit the fan. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And if you don't believe me, you just watch and wait. Because there's a whole lot of us. There's a whole lot of social conservatives that don't like what's going on and can see right through what these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party are doing. They see it. They see it right through it. Anyway, folks, thank y'all for tuning in with me. We're approaching the second hour of True Conservative Radio. I'm your host, the man they call Ghost. And if you have something to say, by all means, grow yourself a pair. Get on the phone and give me a call. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. If you're a bedwetting, long-haired, liberal, tree-hugging hippie, I beg you, please give me a call right now and tell me that I'm wrong, that you liberal pieces of communist trash aren't taking over all over this place. You should be proud of yourselves. You should all be proud of yourselves at the amount of propaganda that you liberals had to spew out of your noggin to finally achieve what you've achieved. It's ridiculous. Unbelievable what's happening to our society, folks. I can't even consume an alcoholic beverage in peace and enjoy the American lifestyle, knowing that the social ills are becoming the social norms. It's just sad, and nobody wants to talk about it. The Republican Party doesn't want to talk about it. And it's just sad. Absolutely, utterly sickening here. Well, you know what? I may start a new party. I don't know. I don't really want to start it. I mean, hey, I just want to perpetuate debate. That's all I care about. I just want to perpetuate debate and discourse on political subject matters that affect all of our lives. That's all I care about. And if somebody somewhere decides to make a conservative party, I am all for it. I am all for it because I think it's long overdue. Because social conservatism is pretty much obsolete when it comes to the Republican Party. You know it, I know it. That's all there is to it. Anyway, folks, thank you all for tuning in. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. We want to hear from you. I know you've been hearing me talk a lot here in the past hour. And let me tell you something. I know that you've been hearing a lot of passion, a lot of fury coming out from me. But let me tell you something, folks. That's because I mean what I say. I say what I mean. I'm not like these jerk asses out here, these pompous ass pricks that are out here thinking that their opinion is so great when they're not providing any substance. I provide substance every time I come on here and talk. Just look around you. Every show, folks. And like I stated previous, tomorrow we're going to have an early show, probably around, maybe 4, 5 in the afternoon, Central Time, something around there, because obviously it's Super Bowl Sunday. And I am sure as hell not going to be here talking on the Internet while the Super Bowl is going on. Granted, I could care less which team wins. I think they're both a bunch of crap. But, it's one of those American holidays, so to speak, those novelty days. Everybody comes together. Everybody comes together, has a barbecue, drinks up a few alcoholic beverages. I don't drink on Sunday. That's why I'm consuming my alcoholic beverages this evening. But I'm going to have some barbecue. You know us in Texas, we love barbecue. We can smoke the hell out of a piece of meat. I tell you that right now. Anyway, folks, I've been going off out here, and we're approaching the second hour of True Conservative Radio. You can give me a call, 646-652-4869. Stop playing with your schlong head. Stop playing with your pecker shaft. Get some damn cojones. Go to the phone and give me a call if you think you got yourself a pair. Because I want to hear from you. I mean, if you think I'm off my rocker, well then, come up here. I'd like for you to debate me on that. I'd like for you to tell me why. I'd like to know why. All right, and stop sitting there insinuating garbage. Provide some substance, and we'll see what's going on. Oh, here we go with the Ron Paul debate again. Ron Paul. The more and more I see Ron Paul, I just think he's a whiny little baby, with all due respect. Now, at first I was real critical about Ron Paul. Ron Paul to me was just another example of how the social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party and allowed Ron Paul to spread his liberal, borderline, long-haired hippie propaganda on a Republican forum, allowing Ron Paul to generate large sums of capital, which eventually is going to be used against the Republican Party because Ron Paul is going to run as a third-party candidate. And I've stated that since the beginning of this show, and when it happens, I'd like to tell all of you I told you so. Tell all of you I told you so. But as far as Ron Paul, I think he's a lunatic when it comes to his foreign policy. I don't understand what he's talking about when it comes to, you know what, let's just tuck tail, not only in Iraq, not only in Afghanistan, let's tuck tail and let's go and get the hell out of all over the world. Let's get out of there. I don't believe in that. We are a superpower, and we need to stay the superpower, and that's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. And everybody in here that's, playing with their pecker shaft and saying, oh, well, you know what, Ron Paul, he's for peace, or whatever you're insinuating. I don't know what's motivating this whole captivation with Ron Paul. I really don't. He's not that good of a speaker. He's kind of a whiner. He fixes broken vaginas for a living. I mean, I just don't understand his appeal. I just don't understand it. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna take some calls here this evening. And as I look at the switchboard, whoo! There's a lot of people calling, and I thank you very much for calling, folks. Let me tell you. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this beer here. Pretty good. Hopefully you have your vice around you. If you consume alcoholic beverages, hopefully you have one with you this evening. If not, your coffee, your smokes, whatever your vice is, even if it's a pizza or an artery-clogging triple cheeseburger, I hope you have it and enjoying the American lifestyle, because let me tell you something, we are living better than any other civilization in world history, and I'm appreciating it right about now. Let me take one more swig of this beer, and we're going to be taking calls here in the second hour. Pretty good. Anyway, here we go. 508 area code. You are now on the air.
There you go. It's Paul from Independently Correct Radio here. How are you?
How you doing?
Hey, I'm listening to your rant and rave, and this one thought is coming to my mind, and I mentioned it in the chat room. Obviously you have a strong disappointment with the Republican Party right now. So why don't you do like me and become an independent?
Well, the thing about independence, though, is that they have no organization. There needs to be organization to have true impact in this democracy. And that's the only way. I mean, independents, they have power, so to speak, but they have no organization. And you see, there's nothing to organize them. You see, with the conservative movement, we have the conservative principles to organize us all and bring us all together. And then we become a reputable force in the political spectrum of American politics. And that's why. I mean, in my view, that's why everybody, if you have an issue that's going to bring people together, that's the way democracy works. If you have an issue that brings people together, go out, try to spread your message, try to go out and do what you have to do and convince as many people as possible to believe like you so you can change laws, so you can make things happen, so you can have people focus on your group of people.
I mentioned the whole independence thing, and when I started my voting life, okay, I started out my voting life as a Democrat, as embarrassing as that is to admit, okay? But, let's face it, I grew up here in the People's Republic of Massachusetts, okay? Grew up in a hardcore Democratic family.
I like that, the People's Republic of Massachusetts. That's great.
And this is back in the 80s. Mike Dukakis was governor, and you can understand something funny about my family, especially my dad, okay? Dad's a hardcore Democrat, all right? But he has absolutely nothing in common with the Democratic Party, okay? On paper, he's a Democrat, but he thinks like a Republican, okay? My dad is against abortion. He's against split-flopping gay-bladed marriage. He's pro-gun, okay? My dad's actually a carrying member of the NRA. Every moral value that my dad holds dear, the Democratic Party opposes. Yeah, if you would ask my dad, well, why are you a Democrat? He'll say, well, they're for the working man, which really isn't true anymore.
Well, it isn't true. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any party for the working man anymore, and I feel sorry for the working man because they're losing their jobs, not only to foreign output of means of production, but you've got these illegal immigrants that nobody's talking about in these debates. I think Romney's brought it up a couple of times. I mean, it's the illegal immigrants that are in here illegally that are lowering the value of the labor costs out here. They're lowering the cost of labor, and that's why people are having a hard time to find a job that pays out here, because you got 20 million immigrants that'll do the job about half or three-quarters price lower than you will. That's what's sad.
Well, anyway, I started mentioning in the chat room earlier, one of the most liberating things I ever did and said was the day I went down City Hall and asked the nice lady behind the counter at the elections office, what do I got to do to get out of the Democratic Party? and she slapped the card on the counter and said, you fill this card out and check off the unenrolled. Like they call it unenrolled in Massachusetts, which is a stupid word if you want my opinion. But that's the way it is in Massachusetts. So I checked off that block. Now, let me say what advantage that gives me here in Massachusetts, okay?
What's that?
Here in Massachusetts, in primary elections, okay, when you go to vote in a primary election, you have to take the ballot of whatever party you belong to. However, if you're an independent, you can choose which ballot you want to vote with.
I see.
Okay?
Oh, hold on. We got another call here. Let me see what they got going on here. It's 000 is the area code. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but go ahead. You're on the air.
Well, I don't know if it's 000, but it might be me, I think.
Yeah, I think that's you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I've heard about it. Well, I only came in half the way across the show because I've been out down having a coffee. About political parties. I know in the UK, the government are actually raising taxes for God knows everything that you can think of. Road taxes, poll tax. I mean, I have been wanting to get a job for 20 years, and the only job I've been offered was voluntary crap.
Okay, I'm sorry there, Dudley Moore. I know that maybe possibly you spent some dime on that call or something, but it sounds to me like you got a little bit too close to a cheap bottle of hooch, and we just couldn't understand what you were saying. So I'm sorry. I know maybe you were probably calling and making a good point, but we just couldn't understand you, and sorry. I'm sorry. 508, are you still there?
I'm still here, Ghost.
No, I mean, they're saying that I'm racist against the Englishman. I'm not racist against the Englishman. I just couldn't understand the man. And we have a lot of listeners, that we've got time allotted out here. People don't want to hear somebody they can't understand. Now, I didn't mean to insinuate the man was, intoxicated in any way, but the way the man was slurring his words sounded like he got a little bit too close to a couple of bottles of beer. And anyway, go ahead. What were you talking about there? I thought that maybe he would provide some sort of insight. Unfortunately, it was Dudley Moore resurrected, so go ahead.
Now, last week when I was talking to you, and I'm going to talk about this more on my show tomorrow night, just the importance of voting, So many people in this country, come election day, won't go to vote, won't go to the polls on election day, and they'll say, well, my vote doesn't matter. I just want to give them a good slap upside the head. What do you mean your vote doesn't matter? I mean, ask the people of Florida if their vote mattered in the 2000 election.
Well, what's unfortunate is that that's the mindset that most of these folks want you to have as far as both political parties are concerned. They want you to believe that your vote won't count because they only want people that are going to show up and wait in line at the voting line out there. And you're right about the working man. It's hard for him, especially if he's a family man. It's hard for him to get out after work or after taking care of the kids or picking up the kids or whatever the case might be, to go out and wait in line for about 3 and a half hours to go and vote for some schmuck that probably is not going to give him anything to begin with. So, I mean, that's what's unfortunate about it. I mean, we definitely need some sort of voting day or voting week or something so everyone can have the opportunity if they want to, because it's everybody's right if they don't want to vote either. Just give them a certain allotted time to go out and participate in their right. And if they don't want to participate in it, well, then let's just go ahead and let them do whatever they want to do.
No, I don't know what part of the country you live in, Ghost, but here in Massachusetts, for federal and state elections, the polls open at 7 o'clock in the morning and they're open until 8 o'clock at night, which, in my opinion, gives most folks ample time to get to the polls, either before they go to work or after they come back from work. In my opinion.
Well, I think that there definitely needs to be something done about it because we have way too many people being elected, especially at the congressional and Senate level, that don't need to be in there. And the reason that they're there is because they convince the lot of people that actually have the ability, the resources, and the means to sit there and actually cast a ballot, even after waiting about 2.5, 3 hours to participate in their vote. And it's just sick. Just absolutely sick, man.
I don't know where they're waiting 2-3 lines to vote in America, but here in my town, that's not a problem because the voting turnout in my town is like embarrassingly low, so that's not an issue where I live. But let me throw this question out at you, Ghost. I'm of the opinion that if you don't go to vote, you don't have a right to complain about who's in office.
Well, you know, I used to believe that. You know, I really did used to believe that, but now that we've got the Republican Party, which was my lifelong party, I mean, I was a lifelong Republican up until this past election here, where, I don't know, did you happen to see the social liberal coronation that happened in California at the Reagan Library out there? I mean, it was just disgusting. Yeah, well, it was just, you didn't miss much. I mean, it was just John McCain, you know, talking all his nonsense. I mean, this is a social liberal. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point is that, I mean, I don't think I've already said I'm not going to vote for any of these people, but I don't think that my voice shouldn't be heard because I didn't participate in my right to vote. It's just I had no option. I'm not going to sit here and have somebody give me shit on a shingle and tell me to shove it down my throat, eat it, like it, and smile about it. I'm not going to let the Republican Party do that to me. I'm a social conservative first and foremost, and I'm not going to let the I'm not going to let the Republican Party allow them to use my mind for their benefit. I'm not going to let them do that. Maybe some of these absent-minded nimrods that have no conservative scruples want them to do that, but not me.
Well, then your next option would be to run for office yourself.
You know, I mean, I would like to run for office, but I just don't want to participate in the mumbo-jumbo. I mean, I just want to participate in spawning debate. I mean, that's all. That's the only reason why I come online. I mean, I have a lot of conservative people. We're organized. There's a lot of people. They send me great emails. I mean, that's the good part about having a show like this. You get a lot of great emails from people that think like you, who believe in what you believe in. And all I'm asking them to do is to perpetuate that same conservative value system onto their children, onto their families, their extended families. Encourage more people to participate in the conservative value system. I couldn't be a politician because I just wouldn't want to do it. I just wouldn't want to have anything to do with it.
Well, you say that, but you know what? It's going to start somewhere.
What are you talking about?
Well, you know, I mean, people feel the way you do. You know, I see that your other option is, you know, run for office yourself. You know, and if you want to change the system, it's going to start somewhere. And if it's going to start with you, then goddamn it, do it.
Well, you know what? I mean, I haven't ruled out, you know, possibly. I'm not saying anytime soon. Maybe a congressional seat. I mean, I live in Texas. I'm actually I'm not going to say where in Texas I'm at, where I'm from, or anything like that. But I'm kind of a known person that, you know, goes in the local media and suggests the local government participate or not participate in certain activities. I'm not going to rule it out, but all I'm suggesting is that we need to spawn some debate about social conservatism. We need to bring it back forth as a motivating value to bring us all together so we can take power once again. Take power. I mean, you know, I mean, that's what we need to do as social conservatives.
I know in my case, you know, here in my town, we have a form of government called what they call a representative town meeting. And the town is divided up into 9 precincts, and I think there's like 12 seats per precinct. And these are the people who actually participate in the town meetings, town government. And it's something I've considered running for. I still have time to take out papers between now and the election. But, you know, it's something I want to definitely get more involved in some way, shape, or form as time goes on myself here in my local government. And again, being from Massachusetts, I got to say this. You know, Tip O'Neill, say whatever you want about him, but the man was right when he said all politics is local.
It really is. That's why I'm suggesting to all the social conservative folks that listen to my show, I suggest to them they need to go back to a grassroots level. They need to go to their local governments, their state representatives. They need to go out there, and they need to campaign at a grassroots level. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what they need to do to take back power, I mean, in my view. And we got another call here. I just wanted to see who this is. They obviously called with Skype or some sort of, I don't know who it is, so we're just letting them on the air. Hey, you're on the air.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. What's going on?
Well, I was listening to give you shit to the English accent caller that called in before, and obviously I've got one. Can you understand what I'm saying?
Well, make your point, please.
Well, I'm wondering, I've been listening to your show, and I'm wondering exactly how you're going to have a conversation when you're telling everyone that disagrees with you that they are a pecker shaft.
Okay, all right. You know, that's about enough of that. We're just going to hang up on that caller right there. That's obviously Jen. Jen, give me a break. It's the most ridiculous accent I've ever heard in my entire life. It's ridiculous. You see, and this is a Republican here, man. You see, this is what I'm dealing with. I've even got Republicans that are social liberals that are out here. Look at what they're doing. They're resorting to the same garbage as the left-wing, long-haired communists out here. This is what they do.
Well,
I mean, this is a shame. I mean, that's why I'm so angry. That's why I'm sitting here, screaming at people. I'm screaming at people because I can't believe that here I got the Republican Party. I thought the Republican Party was against this garbage, and here they're utilizing the same methods of agitation as the left. It's ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, man. Go ahead.
Ghost. I know Jen. I've called into her show. She's called into mine many times. And in defense of Jen, I think maybe you're being unfair to her.
Unfair. She doesn't know what she is. She's a social liberal disguised as a Republican, obviously. She's making a horrible attempt, and I don't want to acknowledge her anymore because that'll obviously give her more listeners, but she's obviously some, and here she's calling again. She's obviously some wannabe Ann Coulter, all right? And the difference between her and Ann Coulter is that Ann Coulter actually believes in the rhetoric that I'm saying here this evening. She actually believes that the American family is becoming extinct, that women are becoming subliminal prostitutes. She stated it, and I'm glad that we have people like Ann Coulter that will state the obvious. As a matter of fact, she was one of the first people that endorsed Duncan Hunter. So, I mean, it's just that's all there is to it.
Who was Ann Coulter?
Ann Coulter. She's a true conservative.
Right. Well, yeah. Okay, but and again, I just want to reiterate. I think you're being unfair to Jen. People listening to you rant and rave, and you have every right to rant and rave. Those you really do. I think I don't know. Maybe you're just rubbing some conservatives the wrong way. I don't know. And I'm saying that.
I'm rubbing the damn Republicans the wrong way because they're all social liberals now, and they're upset that I'm letting that genie out of the bottle, and they don't want it exposed to social conservatives that actually still believe that the Republicans have the social conservative best interest. They don't have it anymore. They don't care. They don't care about it anymore. That's what's upsetting about it.
I think they do care, and I know folks like Jen, they're not real happy with the quality of the candidates that are out there either. But unfortunately, that's what we've got to work with this year, and for the better or worse, we're going to make do with what we got, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, sir. Exactly right. Anyway, you want to plug your show here? Because I'm going to take a few other calls. I'm going to talk a little bit about some other things this evening. So, do you want to go ahead and say your show out to everybody who's listening out there on the internet?
I appreciate that. It's called Independently Correct Radio. It's on every Sunday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And yes, I will be broadcasting tonight, even though tomorrow night, even though it'll be during the Super Bowl. I will have a show. We're going to be talking about something we can talk about tonight. The importance of voting. And we're going to talk about the 5 non-negotiable issues that you need to know where the candidate stands on each of these issues. And I'm doing the show primarily because next Tuesday, of course, is Super Tuesday. Massachusetts is one of the 24 states, I believe, who's going to be having their primaries on Tuesday. And so I want to talk about some issues. It'll definitely be political in nature. And again, like I said, talk about the importance of voting. And I'm also going to reveal who I'm going to vote for next Tuesday.
All right. I can't wait to hear that. You said that this next Tuesday. What time again?
The show's on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in, my man. What's that,
you're welcome, Ghost. Super Tuesday is obviously next Tuesday. And 2 more things. First of all, thanks for respecting me again as an independent. And lastly, go Patriots.
Okay, well, thank you very much for calling in, sir. You have yourself a pleasant evening. Anyway, like you heard previous, folks, that ridiculous bimbo that called up, trying to act like some English tea-drinking piece of garbage from across the pond. This is what I'm talking about. This is supposedly a Republican out here. And, they're resorting to logical fallacies, methods of agitation, things that the people on the left do. I mean, this is what people on the left are doing, folks. Now, this is communist-style agitation. It's ridiculous. Absolutely sickening here. And this is Republicans. These are Republicans that are doing this crap. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting to me. And let me tell you something, folks. If you're a conservative, like I suggested, the only thing that I'm suggesting that you do is just go out and not vote for any of these people until the social conservatism is acknowledged, until there's more emphasis on non-reversal, or excuse me, the reversal of Roe v. Wade. We need that thing wiped off the map. We need pro-life. Abortion is the purest form of murder. I mean, we need somebody who's going to put emphasis on the American family. This is what I'm talking about. Somebody suggested to me in an email the other day, they suggested, you know what, Ghost, you're no longer with the Republican Party. You hate the Democrats, because let me tell you something, I spit on the Democrats. Puh! I spit on the Democrats and anybody who's of the left of the political persuasion. I hate the left. I hate the left. But this person suggested, you know what, maybe you're a radical conservative. I'm a radical now. I've never thought, I've been a conservative all my life. And I never ever thought I'd ever be called a radical because I want to save the American family. I mean, this is what we have. I'm a radical for trying to save the American family. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. I mean, why don't people just, appreciate the conservative value system? And the conservative value system is nothing difficult, folks. And don't believe what these social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, don't believe them when they try to throw highlights on this religious zealot that they're trying to disguise as a social conservative, Mike Huckleberry or Hucklefin or whatever his fruity-ass name is. Don't believe that this man's a social conservative, because he's not. He's being utilized as a tool by the social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party as a religious zealot, as a buffoonery, as a Nimrod, as a nincompoop. That's what he's being utilized at. And that's why I can't stand the Republican Party anymore, folks. I've been a Republican all my life. And this is what they have for me? This is what they're doing to me here? I mean, you know what kind of a backstab this is? I mean, this is a backstab, folks. I mean, I want to break something right now. I want to break something. I mean, let me tell you something, folks. My blood is pumping. My heart is just burning inside, because let me tell you something. My party has left me, and if you're a social conservative, you should feel the same way. You should feel the same way. And let me tell you, it just makes me sick. It's just absolutely sick. And here you go, Jake Speed, with all due respect, sir, you're sitting here in the chat room. If you want to get into the chat room, it's blogtalkradio.com/ghost, okay? What's unfortunate, Jake Speed is sitting here saying Ghost insulting Jen is gonna go into no man's land. No man's land? I mean, give me a break. All right? I mean, no man's land. What are you, with all due respect, Jake Speed, I understand you are conservative, or I think you're conservative. I mean, are you actually falling for this absolute emasculation of the American male, just like what the feminists want you to do? Oh, don't talk shit to Jen, because it's no man's land. Give me a break. Okay? Give me a damn break. Jen is just some dumb bimbo that comes along. She probably, heard Rush Limbaugh or probably watched Ann Coulter too much, thinks that she can come up here, say some good talking points, but not believe in the rhetoric that she spits out. So, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not even going to acknowledge her anymore. It's it. That's it. And let me tell you something, all you liberals and all you supposed conservative, or not conservatives, supposed conservatives that are trying to disguise yourself with the conservative label, but that are out here trying to promote for 2-3 million abortions a day. Give me a call right now, 646-652-4869, if you got yourself a pair. Give me a call, you piece of trash. I've told it how it is with the Republicans. I've told it how it is with the Democrats. Let me tell you, I'm a social conservative first and foremost. I'm trying to save the American family, and I'm being chastised from both sides of the political persuasion because none of these people want to save it. None of the people want to save the American family. None of these people care. They want the social ills to become the social norms. They already are. They don't want to reverse it. And I'm a social conservative first and foremost, folks. I'm not going to just let these Republicans shove crap, shit on a shingle. I'm not going to let them shove it in my throat and have me like it and have me smile about it. They're not going to make me do it. This is America. I don't believe in this social liberalism that has hijacked the Republican Party, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and take a few more calls here. I know we've been talking about how the Republican Party has been hijacked by social liberals, but that's all there is to it. I mean, it's the bottom line. That's what's happened in America. This is what's happened to America. Area code, let me see, what area code are we hitting here? Area code 646, you're on the air.
Is this Ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost, I love your show.
Okay.
You're amazing. I love your show, and your voice is really sexy.
Okay, yeah. More methods of agitation here from the left of the political persuasion. But you see, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I mean, this is what the left has done. This is what feminism and liberalism has done. Did you notice that this supposed man that just got off the phone here, did you notice that he had feminine vernacular in his voice? Sounding like he's probably got a gerbil up his anal passage right now. Have you noticed that? That's prevalent. That's real prevalent with males under the age of 30 nowadays. I mean, just talk to anyone who's under the age of 30 and you'll understand what I'm talking about. I mean, notice the feminine features in their physical attributes. All right? Notice the feminine vernacular when they talk. You notice that? And you want to know why this is prevalent? This used to be a minority. Now it's the majority of the American males. And if you don't believe me, why don't you go out and talk to somebody under the age of 30, and they'll sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops. You know it and I know it. But why has this happened? I'll tell you why. Because you've got liberalism, you've got feminism. All right? Combine them together, they have asserted the absolute pussification, okay? The absolute pussification of America. I used to say it was of the American male, but now I think it's of America in general. We've got a gender-biased justice system. We've got women out here nowadays that are just shitting out about 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 kids from about 12 different fathers. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. These callers, this is what I'm talking about. This is all they know, methods of agitation. This is all the left knows. And I wouldn't be surprised who it is at this point. I don't know if it's Republicans now. I don't know if it's left-wing, long-haired, liberal, bedwetting, communist hippies now. I don't know who it is, folks. I don't know who it is. But whoever was from 646 area code, you sound like you just popped out of the ass crack of Richard Simmons. You sound so damn fruity. Now grow yourself a pair and sound off with a little bit more bass in your voice if you're going to call up to my show and sound off with me, boy. Sound off with a little bit more bass in your voice. You piece of crap. I'm tired of people calling up, oh, how you doing, Ghosty? You sound like a goddamn fruity ass. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. If you're going to come up here and you're going to insult me, at least sound off like you got a pair. You sound off like you got a pair, boy. Anyway, I'm going off the deep end. You see here these liberal agitators. These agitators are sitting here. They're agitating pretty nicely out here, but this is what the left does. Not only the left doing it, the Republicans are doing it too, folks. The Republicans are doing it too, and they've isolated the social conservative movement. Anyway, give me a call right now, and let me tell you something. If you're of left of the political persuasion, all right, and if you have some substance, give me a call, and we'll debate the issues over here. Stop sounding like some fruity-ass little bastard, okay? You know, stop sounding like you're whacking off to naked pictures of Ricky Martin's butt crack, all right? Sound off like you got a pair, for Christ's sake. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. I mean, give me a call right now. Anybody out there that's listening. I mean, I've already said, look, the Republican Party filled with nothing but a bunch of social liberals. The Democrat Party, well, obviously, everybody's a liberal out there. Everybody. It's ridiculous. Absolutely disgusting here. I'm sitting here trying to consume an alcoholic beverage. I spent $150 on some ridiculous Sherlock Holmes pipe, and the tobacco tastes like dog crap. But I'm living the American lifestyle. I just had myself a damn T-bone steak. You know, I mean, I love the American lifestyle. That's what I don't understand about these left-wing liberal long hairs that come in here all the time trying to disrespect my country. You know? They're trying to disrespect my country. You got these people that come up on here, all right? They come up on here, and I visit a lot of these little internet chat communities, you know, and they come up on here, and they're crying foul. They're talking all this garbage about the government. They're talking all this garbage about George W. Bush. They're talking garbage, okay? It's all they do. And yet they can probably get up every morning, roll their fat jelly asses out of bed, because you know they're fat in the ass, okay? They can roll their fat asses out of bed in their dirty underwear. They go into their car. They're probably out there having the triple cheeseburger at one of these local fast food joints. You know, they're participating and appreciating the American lifestyle. I mean, that's what they're doing, and yet they could sit here and have the right to spew off slanderous garbage about this great country. That's what I don't understand. I mean, these people that are online out here spreading slanderous lies about our great president, George W. Bush, it's just absolutely disgusting that these people can sleep at night spreading these slanderous lies about our president, spreading these slanderous lies about 9/11, all this garbage that I hear all over the place, all over the internet. These people should be ashamed of themselves. All these people that disrespect George W. Bush, all these people that are disrespecting the government, having the defeatist attitude, wanting to tuck tail and leave, you know what you people are doing? You people are spitting on our troops. That's what you people are doing. Every time you spread slanderous lies about George W. Bush, every time that you sit up here and flap your little mealy-mouthed gums about our government against our country, you're spitting on our troops. That's what you people are doing. You're spitting on our troops that are dying for your freedom, for your country. And this is what you can do. I mean, this is your contribution to America, is to spread slanderous lies, agitate, utilize the methods of agitation to spew your propaganda. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All of you people that are spreading slanderous lies about our president are spitting on our troops, and if you don't like it, there's obviously a whole bunch of left-wing, long-haired, liberal, bedwetting hippies in my chat room, and if you want to get to the chat room, it's blogtalkradio.com/ghost, Ghost, and get a whiff. Just take a look at all these liberal long hairs that are flapping their fat Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard out here, not spreading any kind of substance whatsoever. All right? Not expressing anything whatsoever. They're just spreading logical fallacies, a bunch of garbage. That's all there is. Garbage. And it's of the left of the political persuasion, and it's on the right of the political persuasion. I can't believe that the Republican Party has resorted themselves so low that they're doing the things that the people on the left are doing. It's ridiculous. I mean, look at these people, folks. I mean, if you don't believe me, take a look at this chat room. Get a good whiff. It's not just liberal communists. I used to always have liberal communists come in here and flap their fingers on the keyboard and spread slanderous lies, personal attacks, insults. But now I'm getting it from the Republicans. And you want to know why I'm getting it from the Republicans? Because I'm yanking them out the social liberal closet, because that's exactly where they're at. They're social liberals. The social liberals have hijacked the Republican Party, and they're utilizing the same methods of agitation, the same slanderous lies, the same personal attacks as those liberal, left-wing, long-haired liberal hippie communists. They know it, I know it, anybody with any kind of common sense knows it too. You know it and I know it. I'm sick of these people that come into this chat room and all they do is spread slanderous lies, personal attacks, no kind of substance whatsoever. It's ridiculous. Absolutely, utterly sickening to me. Anyway, you can get back to me at 646-652-4869. All right, if you've got yourself a pair, and if you don't like what I'm saying, get on the damn telephone right now. Give me a call. Give me a call. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. And let me tell you something, we may be having some problems with BTR up in here. I've been having problems with BTR at the end of my shows, so if we happen to get cut off, that's exactly what happened. BTR not living up to the expectations up in here. But the bottom line is, folks, the bottom line is that nobody, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, it's the same shit, different plate, folks. I'm sorry to say so many vulgarities in this show, but somebody has to give you some straight talk. Right, somebody's got to slap you all back into reality. And the reality is you got social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party. You've got Democrats that are obviously openly liberal communists out here. You have no say-so when it comes to this election. You're going to elect the same thing. Doesn't matter what. Doesn't matter what you get. I mean, John McCain has done more to split up the Republican Party than any other person around at this point. The McCain-Feingold bill, borderline unconstitutional. That McCain-Feingold bill just systematically financially destructed the Republican Party. That's why the Republican Party lost the House, lost the Senate. It's because of this ridiculous garbage. And anybody who supports this social liberal, John McCain, just because you don't want to break party lines, just because you want to stay loyal to the party, well, then you're a sheep. That's what you are. You're a sheep because John McCain is the most liberal piece of trash running under the Republican ticket right now, next to Ron Paul. But Ron Paul's a joke. You've got the majority of American people actually believing this John McCain Nimrod. Are you kidding me? He's soft on the borders. He wants to give amnesty to the 20 million people that came to this country illegally. And he's trying to argue that he's a conservative. You know? He's trying to argue that he's a conservative. Are you kidding me? And you know, I haven't heard one of these people, with the exception of Mike Huckleberry. And like I stated, folks, the only reason that the social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, the only reason they're throwing the spotlight on Mike Huckleberry is because they want to make social conservatives look like a bunch of idiots. That's why. They want to show the spotlight and say, hey, look, there's the social conservatives, remember them? And then Mike Huckleberry with his goofy-ass look and his ridiculous rhetoric, I mean, he's making social conservatives look like a bunch of jagoffs. I mean, he's sitting over here suggesting that we need to change the Constitution into something that looks like the Bible. I mean, you know how ridiculous that sounds? You know how ridiculous that this makes the Republican Party look? Makes the conservative movement look? And look at the true conservatives that were on the ticket, that were initially on the Republican ticket. Duncan Hunter, Fred Thompson. What happened to them? They were shut out by the Republican Party. They were shut out of mainstream media. They were shut out of a Republican platform. They were shut out of proper campaign finances. They were shut out by the Republican Party, and that's because the Republican Party has been hijacked by social liberals. And anybody who wants to debate me on that subject matter, give me a call. Give me a damn call. Stop playing with your schlong head. Get on the phone and give me a call, because I will make you look like a mental midget. I will cut you down lower than a leprechaun's nutsack. Any of you people that want to debate me on these political matters, any of you, because you know I'm telling the truth. The Republican Party has abandoned the social conservative movement. It's the truth. It's a fact of life. And it's something that I have to live with for the rest of my life. That's for sure. I spent my entire life becoming a Republican, voting a Republican, believing in the Republican political value system. And now, for them to betray me as a social conservative makes me sick. It makes me sick. They betrayed me, folks. They betrayed all the social conservatives. All of them. And it makes me ill to my stomach. Let me tell you something, folks. And let me tell you something. My heart's pumping. I'm breathing hard, folks. The blood's pumping through my veins because this makes me sick. And anybody who's a true social conservative, it should make them sick too. It should make them sick too. The Republican Party submitting, bowing down to social liberalism. Are you kidding me? I'm telling you, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it. 646-652-4869. Give me a call. Give me a damn call. I'm accepting calls right now. If anybody's got the testicular fortitude, get on the phone and give me a call. I dare you. I dare you. And here I go again in the chat room. They're asking, what's a social conservative? I'll tell you what a social conservative is. It's somebody who believes that women that are shitting out about 5 or 6 kids from 5 or 6 different fathers is a social ill. People that have 5 or 6 divorces is a social ill. People that, believe in abortion, that are bowing down to abortion, are a social ill. That's all there is to it. That is all there is to it, folks. And we've got a lot of people calling up here. We got a lot of people calling up, but you know what? I know it's most of these liberal agitators that are in here flapping their fingers on the keyboard. I mean, they're probably shoving, like Jen over there, she's probably shoving bonbons down her gullet like a damn garbage disposal over here. Or take my call. Give me a break. It's ridiculous. Absolutely disgusting. If you're a true conservative, all right, if you're somebody who's a true social conservative, give me a call. We want to talk to conservatives this evening. I don't want to end the evening off with some bedwetting, long-haired, liberal freaking hippie who's probably hugging on a tree, humping a dead whale, or whatever these people do. All right, I want to talk to a social conservative who wants to save the American family. That's what I want to talk to. That's what I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to a bunch of Nimrods up in here that are just going to flap nothing but logical fallacies. No type of debate whatsoever. No type of debate whatsoever. And let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something. The social conservative movement is alive and well. All right? I get hundreds of emails a day, and like I stated previous, this feed is all over the internet. There's a lot of people hosting my feed. Thank you very much for all you folks that are hosting me on your websites and that sort of thing. Let me tell you something. The social conservative movement is alive and well. We're the only thing keeping the American family together, folks. I mean, if it wasn't for the social conservative movement, you'd have the same thing that's happening in Australia, 75% divorce rate. Same thing that's happening in Germany, 70% divorce rate. That's what you'll have, and it'll be prevalent. It'll just be prevalent. Now, you see, here's somebody here saying, why don't I like Ron Paul? I don't like Ron Paul because he's obnoxious. The man's talking about tuck and tail, all right? Tuck and tail and leaving not only in Iraq and Afghanistan, he wants to leave all over the damn world. He wants to leave out of Korea. He wants to leave out of everywhere. He wants to leave. He just wants to, tuck tail and leave out of all the international community, come back to America. And somehow he thinks that that's going to somehow make the terrorists like us. It's ridiculous. Absolutely disgusting. All of you, it's just all disgusting. That's why I don't like Ron Paul. That's why I don't like it. Anyway, folks, we're about 15 minutes and counting down from the show. I want to thank everybody for listening in to another episode of True Conservative Radio. And let me tell you something, folks. I get triple-digit numbers all the time, and I just want to take another opportunity to thank all the true conservatives that listen in. I thank you very much for your emails. I thank you very much for your support. You're the only reason why I come on this internet and do what I do. Because let me tell you something. If you take a look at my chat room, and I know a lot of you conservatives come in as guest names and that sort of thing, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because let me tell you something. The garbage that goes on in this chat room is disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting. It really is. I mean, the people in the chat room out here are flapping their fat fingers on the keyboard, trying to, spread logical fallacies. And I was used to getting it from people from the left, these communists, these left-wing, liberal, long-haired, bedwetting, tree-hugging hippies. I was used to those Karl Marx worshipers. But now I'm getting the same garbage from the people on the right, from the Republicans, because I'm standing up for my social conservative values. That's why. I'm standing up for my social conservative values, and here's political vindication. Who the hell would support you? The American family would support me, you piece of crap. That's who supports me, not social liberals like yourself that want men to have oral copulation with each other in front of elementary schools, who want 1 billion abortions a day, somebody who wants the American family destroyed. I'm not like you social liberal pieces of garbage out here. I want to save the American family. I care about the American future, unlike you pieces of garbage. Unlike you. You know it and I know it. It's ridiculous. I don't know what you're talking about there, political vindication. One minute you're sitting here saying, oh, maybe I should control myself because I'm trying to save the American family, and then the next minute you're sitting here saying, well, hey, I was talking about this, I was talking about that. I don't care anymore. All right? The bottom line is that if you're a conservative and if you're going to bow down to John McCain and the social liberals on the right, you're not a conservative. And I damn you that you're saying that you're a conservative. All you people that are supporting John McCain, take the damn conservative out of your name. Take it out. All of you. Take it out. Because you're not a conservative. You don't represent the conservative value system. The conservative value system. Let me tell you something, folks. I'm going to be having a show tomorrow, probably around 4 or 5 p.m. Central Time. Get back to the blogtalkradio.com/ghost site, and it'll tell you the exact time. And it's going to be before the Super Bowl, folks, because, I'm throwing a big party here, inviting all my employees and their families. It's going to be a great event out here. barbecuing, all that sort of thing. I was sitting here trying to have a couple of beers. I started by cracking open a bottle of beer at the beginning of the show, and I've only been able to crack one more after that because I've been so my attention span has been so induced into this conversation that I'm having with you folks because it's very important. We're in a precarious time right now. I don't know where our country's going, where we're headed. I mean, I have no idea. You should be concerned about this just as much as I am. I mean, whoever is the president, I mean, what are they going to do with us? I mean, they have no care for the social conservative value system. All they care about is trying to induce an entitlement program to make permanent underclasses of people. They're not talking about the borders, securing the borders. They're not talking about the 20 million people that are in America illegally that are devaluing the cost of labor. And people are wondering why the economy is going so bad. Well, it's 20 million people that are undocumented, that are working in America, that are devaluing the cost of labor. It's that simple. It's that simple. Anyway, folks, let me tell you something. I'm going to be here, like I said, tomorrow. Be on the lookout for that show. We're also going to have a Super Tuesday show. It may be a late night show so we can have all the results come in and we can see if the social liberal coronation that happened on Wednesday in the Reagan Library in California, we'll see if there was any credence in that social coronation. We'll see if John McCain is the candidate for this poor excuse of a Republican Party. We're going to see it. We are actually going to see what's happening. And I hope you join me, folks. I hope you join me. And I appreciate everyone who listens in right here, True Conservative Radio, every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. That's where we're here. You can get back to my blog as well at conservativeghost.blogspot.com. That's Conservative Ghost, all one word, no underscores. conservativeghost.blogspot.com. Let me tell you something, folks. I've got webmasters. I'm putting money in this crap, believe it or not. I'm putting money in websites. I'm going to go global with this because let me tell you something, conservative values need to rise once again. We need to be a majority once again. We need to come together at a grassroots level and promote those who promote conservative values. If the Republicans don't want to, they don't want to promote conservative values, if the Republicans want to abandon ship on the social conservatives, if the Republicans want to turn their back on the root of the Republican Party, which was social conservatives, well, damn them Republicans, because we don't need them. We don't need them. We don't need the Republican Party that's going to isolate social conservatives, that are going to embrace millions of abortions that happen, that are going to embrace the fact that the American family is becoming extinct. We don't need a Republican that's going to embrace those liberal ideologies. We don't need it. We don't need that. And that's why I'm not going to vote for any of these people. I'm not voting for any one of these pieces of social liberal crap. I'm not voting for them. And let me tell you, I have a lot of social conservatives that listen to me on a faithful basis, and I appreciate it. I thank you, but I strongly urge, and this is coming from the bottom of my heart to all the social conservatives that are out there, I urge you, do not, I repeat, do not vote for any of these people. Just stay home. Take care of your families. Just take care of your families. The presidential nomination for social conservatives is lost. So don't even bother voting for this ridiculous McCain character. He's a social liberal. He wants to give amnesty to idiots that have crossed the border illegally, that are in this country illegally. That McCain-Feingold bill, look it up. It systematically destroyed the Republican Party financially. I mean, and look at who McCain likes to put his name on. What bills? McCain-Feingold. Feingold being one of the most liberal Democrats on the Democratic Party. And then you got McCain-Lieberman. Lieberman was the 2000 vice presidential candidate, you idiots. And then you have McCain Kennedy, Ted Kennedy. And this is what the Republican Party wants as its front runner as a presidential candidate, a liberal piece of trash. That's what they want, a liberal piece of trash. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, you Republicans, and you disgust me because you're all social liberals. All of you people that are in my chat room besmirching my chat room, besmirching my radio show, you Republicans are doing the same thing that these left-wing, long-haired liberal hippies do. You know it, and I know it. So I'm suggesting once again to every social liberal that's out there that listens, and I know that there's hundreds of you, and I thank you very much. And I thank the websites that feed my feed into their websites. I thank you very much. But I'm telling you, don't vote for any of these people. Don't vote for any of these people. They don't stand for social conservatism. And if they're not going to stand for social conservatism, well, social conservatives are not going to stand with them. They're not going to stand with them. And that's all there is to it. That is all there is to it. I want to thank everybody in this chat room, even though most of you in here are flapping your fat fingers on the keyboard, trying to spread logical fallacies, slanderous lies, personal attacks at me with no substance. I mean, none of you even had the guts to give me a call out here because you know I'd make you look like a bunch of mental midgets. But I don't blame you. I really don't blame you, pieces of garbage. I don't blame you. Anyway, folks, let me break it down to you like this. I am going to go have a show tomorrow before the Super Bowl, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Central Time, around that time. Tune in then. Tune in then. And I want to thank all the social conservatives that tune in with me every time I'm on the air. And I want to thank you if you're listening to me on podcast as well. Thank you very much. And I want everybody in here to understand that the conservative movement is alive and well, and all you social liberals that are trying to isolate us, all you social liberals that have hijacked the Republican Party, that are trying to suppress the social conservative movement, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be successful. You want to know why? Because the conservative movement will prevail. There are a lot more of us. And let me tell you, we're going to perpetuate these conservative values generation after generation. And you can continue to try to spew off all this social liberal garbage, but all you're going to do is destroy yourselves. And I spit on all you social liberals. All of you! I spit on all you social liberals. You should all be ashamed of yourself, every single one of you. That's why I am staying home when it comes to the presidential candidacy. I'm not voting for anybody, and any true conservative, any true social conservative, don't vote for any of these people. Don't vote. And if you're going to vote, if you're going to go against your conservative principles and vote for a John McCain, or if you're going to vote for somebody on the left, well, you need to stop calling yourself a conservative. Because you just turned your back on the conservative principles. You just turned your back on the family, on the American family. Us at the social conservative movement, we're not going to take what the Republican Party is trying to shove down our throat and like it with a smile about it. We're not going to do it. We are not going to do it. So I thank all of you for tuning in with me this evening. Like I said, I'm going to have a show tomorrow. I'm going to have one on Super Tuesday. You can get back to me on MySpace, folks. I finally got a MySpace, so get back to me. MySpace.com/ghostpolitics. And that's all one word, no underscores. Ghost Politics. And at the same time, if you want to get back to my blog, get back to my blog, Conservative Ghost. That's all one word, no underscores. conservativeghost.blogspot.com. And let me tell you something, my domain name's coming, the website's coming, everything is coming, folks. So you know what is going on here. You know what's going on. The conservative movement is here to stay, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me this evening. Be sure to be on the lookout for tomorrow's show, 4 or 5 p.m. Central Time. Look out for us after Super Tuesday. And let me tell you something, folks. I love this country, but we're on a precarious path, and I don't know where we're going. And I feel sorry for the future. Anyway, folks, thank you very much. Long live the conservative movement. God bless America, and death to feminism. And I'm out.